think it's a very dangerous thing to even talk about, because we do have a tremendously passionate group of voters, much more passion than they had in 2020 and much more passion than they had in 2016. I think it would be very dangerous.
Does that kind of rhetoric worry you?
Well, it doesn't worry me because I have more confidence in the American people and in the people in our movement.
Mike Pence, a guy who has been very nearly at the literal receiving end of the violence that Trump is trying to stoke with comments like that, not at all worried. He has a lot of confidence in the American people. The American people, I will remind you, who tried to overthrow the government on January 6th. Not a lot of them necessarily, but we've also learned that it doesn't take a lot. Takes a few hundred, maybe 1,000 to do a coup, takes a few to try to assassinate politicians. It does not take tens of millions to utterly destroy our society. And he believes, it's not worth speaking out against. Even though, as Dana Bush is gonna point out to him, he was targeted by this, so take a look.
That's pretty remarkable that you're not concerned about it, given the fact that they wanted to hang you on January 6th. I want to move on to the issues that you were talking about.
Well, Dana, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to say to you, there's been an effort to take those that perpetrated violence on January 6th and use a broad brush to describe everyone in our movement.
No, I didn't mean to do that.
I'm just here to tell you. It's not the case. The people in this movement, the people who rallied behind our cause in 2016 and 2020 are the most God-fearing, law-abiding, patriotic people in this country. And I won't stand for those kind of generalizations because they have no basis in fact.
Yeah, and what I meant was that it has the potential to incite those who were incited on January 6th.
Yeah, obviously, and it was well done by her. I love the idea that if they had succeeded, and they were like stringing Mike Pence. I was gonna call him something else. Mike Pence up on the gallows. That like as the light drained from his eyes, his last words would be, "You're not representative." Like, yeah. But they exist and they tried to murder you. They would have murdered other people if they had succeeded. They were breaking down doors like the hordes in zombie movies. But his concern is that you're painting with too broad of a brush. By the way, there were not that many people at the Capitol on January 6th. But when you ask Trump supporters what they think about the people at January 6th, do they reject them? Do they condemn them? The law-abiding people are perfectly fine with what those people did on January 6th. So they weren't there, maybe because they couldn't afford the trip, but they support what happened.
Absolutely, I think this is the most ridiculous thing to try and disown January 6th, and Trump's done it. Obviously, Pence is doing it. It's like, that's the way to alienate your base. Your base came out for you real hard that day. A lot of them are serving jail time. More should be serving time for what they did that day. And now you're gonna disown them or say like, that's not our movement. No, they went to bat for you, arguably. I mean, it was all illegal and violent. And yeah, they wanted to hang you, but guess what? This is the party. The MAGA movement is a movement of political violence. So what's it gonna be? Are you on board with that or are you not?
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.